Welcome to r/Am I the Butthole, where OP has to start using her father's underwear to mop up his piss. Am I the butthole for using my dad's underwear to make a point about the toilet seat? I'm a 21-year-old woman, and I live with my parents and younger sister who's 13. We have a 2-bedroom apartment with 1 bathroom, so all of us share it. The problem is my dad doesn't lift the toilet seat when he pees, and he ends up leaving splash marks on the seat. Refuses to clean up after himself too. It isn't just about how it looks. It also smells and makes it inconvenient for me, my sister, and my mother to use the bathroom, checking for stains every time. We've told him many times over the years to just lift the seat, but he refuses or ignores it. At one point, when my younger sister was like 9, she used to sit without thinking much and got a skin rash. I was really frustrated, and it kind of blew up for me recently. I told my dad that if he kept leaving the seat dirty, I would start cleaning it with his underwear. He didn't take me seriously, so I actually did it. Whenever I found stains, I used one of his clean underwear to wipe it. I even used the ones he kept as backup. Eventually, he ran out of clean underwear and the ones left smelled. So he realized what I'd been doing. We had a big fight about it, and we haven't spoken for 2 months now. Some relatives found out and are telling me that I'm making a big deal out of a small issue. First, they refused to even address the issue when I tried to explain, and now they just explain to me that it's just a habit that he doesn't have. We should just make up and not spoil our relationship over this. My sister is also telling me to stop fighting, but I feel like this is basic hygiene in a shared space. I know using his underwear was extreme, but I'd already tried talking about it for years and nothing changed. I won't lie, it started to take a bit of a toll on me because it started this cold war in my house. But I feel like I should stand my ground because if I don't, my compliance will spill into other things that are not just minor inconveniences. Am I the butthole for standing my ground over this? This is actually really physically bothering me to talk about. If my daughter got a skin rash because she was covered in my piss, first of all, my wife would scream her head off at me, which I would deserve. Secondly, I would spiral into what am I doing with my life? Giving my own daughter a piss rash? F***ing disgusting. Gross. This is making me recoil it's just so gross. Your 9-year-old daughter, it doesn't bother you? You're giving your daughter piss rashes? And then to make matters worse, he's like, I'm willing to die on this hill. I am going to fight for my right to piss on toilet seats and give family members piss rashes. And I'm willing to destroy my relationship with my own daughter over my right to piss on toilet seats. Yo, your dad is a straight up asshole. Man, I try not to cuss on this channel. This guy's got me worked up. This is f***ing gross. OP, you should piss on his pillow, to be honest with you. 100%, I'm not even joking. Go piss on his pillow. Am I the butthole for ruining a hibachi dinner? I'm a 52-year-old woman and my husband is 49. We've been together for over 20 years. He's been out of work, but I make enough to keep us going. Last week was rough for me at work. I was initially blamed for something my predecessor did. It got straightened out, but there were a lot of meetings, calls, and emails, and I was scared that I could lose this job. So Friday night, I just wanted a quiet night at home. My husband wanted to go to his favorite hibachi place. We don't go out to eat much anymore, but I was so tired. He kept pressing, saying, all you have to do is sit there and eat. So I said okay. The hibachi place was loud and crowded, but being just the 2 of us, we didn't wait long and were seated with a boisterous group of 6. The chef came out. As he started cooking, he looked at me and asked if I was okay. I nodded and said, yes, I'm fine, thank you. He nodded and started bantering with the group of 6. A few minutes later, the chef again asked if I was okay. I assured him, yep, I'm good. He then said, you don't look like you feel good. I've been told that I have a resting B-word face, so I tried to smile and said again that I was fine. When the chef turned back to the group of 6, he grinned and then looked at me yet again and this time said, are you mad? I was taken aback and said, nope. He mugged at the group of 6, and then to me, and he said in a comic voice, are you sure you're not mad? Are you mad at me? The group of 6 chuckled. One of the women in the group of 6 then said, oh, don't worry about her. She's just... Here's where I might be the butthole, because I didn't hear what she actually said after that. There was a burst of noise that, for me, drowned her out. All I know is that after she finished her sentence, the chef and the group had a hearty laugh while looking at me. I was feeling so beat up from the week. I was mortified to feel myself turning red and tearing up. So I told my husband to box up the food because I'd be waiting for him in the car. I was getting out of my chair when my husband hissed at me to sit down and stop making a scene. I said, "I'm not gonna sit here and be made fun of." My husband said, "Nobody's making fun of you. Just eat your dinner." I ended up sitting through the rest of the meal in the restaurant. The mood at the table turned very sedate. Communication became hushed voices and gestures. Nobody hung around long after the food was distributed, and pretty much everyone, myself included, just put everything in to-go boxes and left. In the car, my husband complained that I'd ruined dinner. I asked him what the woman said about me after that. "Don't worry about her, she's just..." And my husband would only say, "It was nothing, and it wasn't anything to get mad about." I kept asking him to tell me exactly what she said, and he finally admitted that he hadn't heard her either, but it didn't matter. It wasn't worth me ruining dinner for the whole table. So it's fine for everyone else to ruin OP's dinner, but then OP can't retaliate and ruin their dinner? I'm totally on your side, OP. It's not the role of a hibachi chef to troll or roast his customers. It's his job to, spin eggs and throw them up in the air and catch them in his hat. Or toss food into people's mouths so they can catch it. Silly stuff like that. Also, your husband sucks for not defending you. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving everyone else 1.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for hiring professional cleaners to prove that my mom was a spite cleaner? My mom is what you might call a spite cleaner. She uses cleaning as a tool to control and nag and whine and whatnot. My siblings and I bore the brunt of it. Often, she delegated cleanings to a Saturday or Sunday, which we called Hell Day. She would usually go out to buy food for the week or run errands, and leave us to it. And it seemed no matter how much cleaning we did, she was never happy with the result. And the day would end with all of us arguing and upset. Sometimes we would barely do any cleaning since the end result was the same, her complaining. Venting to each other outside the house one day, my siblings and I decided to prove that she was just complaining for the sake of complaining. We set up a GoFundMe to raise funds to pay a local house cleaning company, posing it as something along the lines of, "Help us get a professional house cleaning to surprise our mom." And we were able to raise a few $100s, mostly from family and friends who knew our situation, which covered the cost. So for one cleaning weekend, when our mom had shopping plus getting the car looked at, we scheduled a local cleaner to arrive. They were two very nice women who proceeded to clean the house till it was sparkling. We chatted a bit with them while they were working. One of the ladies had almost 20 years experience cleaning homes, the other 8 years. With their consent, we filmed some clips of them cleaning, saying that it was to surprise our mom. So mom gets home with our uncle who was coming to dinner, and she's barely in the door and she's already started complaining about our usual subpar cleaning. That we didn't clean the surfaces well enough, or that my sister didn't sweep one spot. These were repetitive complaints that she often said. Long story short, we show her the footage, her face gets red, and she proceeds to scream at us from embarrassing her in front of her brother. How dare we hire cleaners and have strangers in the house, blah blah. We argue back that this just proves she weaponizes cleaning. It's been a few years since then. After the big blow-up, she just did most of the cleaning herself, but never admitted to weaponizing it. It came up again recently as us tricking her, and I don't think we did anything wrong. Am I the butthole? OP, your mom is such a liar that you all got together and said, let's trap her in a lie. And then when you trapped her in a lie, she's trying to say that you tricked her. So who cares what she thinks? She's manipulative and a liar and doesn't seem like a good person. So just be at peace with the fact that you proved yourself right, and she will never ever admit to being wrong, because that's just what those people are like, unfortunately. OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. What you did was honestly pretty clever. Am I the butthole for telling my wife that my mother is correct, and my wife needed to be a parent today and she screwed it up? This week, my daughter, who's in middle school, lost a classmate. My daughter has not taken it well, and overall, this is her first experience of someone she knows dying. The whole class was excused from school today, and the funeral is happening right now. I unfortunately could not be there. I tried, but my paid time off was denied, and we cannot lose this job. I flew out Wednesday night, and I'm coming back now. Our daughter is a mess. She was friends with the girl that passed away. The plan was for my wife, who's unemployed at the moment, to take her to the funeral or mass and just be there. My wife is more spiritual than the average person and hates all things with the dead. Funerals, viewings, and so on. This one is only a mass funeral, no viewing. She believes in ghosts and will avoid funerals like the plague. We discussed it on Wednesday, and she said that she would take our kid and then go to the gravesite. I got a call from my daughter sobbing that she wasn't going to the funeral. My wife was refusing to take her. When I got her to answer my call, she told me she can't do it and she's scared to go. I called up my mom and asked her to pick up my daughter and take her to the funeral. My mom left work and took her. They're there right now. I got a call from my wife afterwards with her crying because my mom tore her a new one. The gist was my mom called her a bad parent and that it's so messed up that she couldn't take out the kid to the funeral of a classmate. My wife wants me to make my mom apologize, and I told my wife that my mom was right. That this was something that our daughter needed, and my wife screwed up. That she wasn't acting like a parent because of her fear of the dead. All she needed to do was stay through mass. We got into a huge phone call argument, and she's calling me a huge dick. My mom is apparently getting texts also, and I told her to not let our daughter know that we're fighting, and if she could look after her for the day. She agreed. Yo, this is like a life-altering, formative event for a middle school girl to go through, and your wife just completely abandoned her child emotionally during this. Really awful behavior. Your wife does deserve to get torn a new one, in my opinion. OP, I'm giving you 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your self-absorbed wife 3.5 out of 5 buttholes. Am I the butthole for joking that my dad gets a perpetual period in front of friends and family? I'm a 19-year-old girl, and I was at a family dinner with my dad, younger sister, my older sister who's visiting, and one of my dad's friends along with his wife and son. At one point, my dad started joking with his friend about how lucky he was to have a son, because living with women is apparently so difficult. Even though both me and my older sister already moved out for college or work and are barely home now. He started making comments about how women get moody and miserable on their periods and how the whole house atmosphere changes. He was saying it in a joking tone, not screaming or anything, but he says this kind of stuff pretty often. His friend then said that he thanks the Lord every day for that. So I replied in basically the same joking tone that honestly, if he had a son exactly like him, it would probably be worse, because he's moody and irritable all the time already, so it's like he's permanently on his period. His friend laughed and his wife laughed too. Then his wife joked, "Oh, don't laugh, you're like that too." I also pointed out that I honestly don't even think what he says is true. I do sports while on my period. My sisters are both pretty chill too, and most of the time when there was tension at home, it was usually him starting arguments, and then blaming it on women hormones if we reacted badly. Anyway, after dinner, my dad told me that I embarrassed and insulted him in front of his friends. He said that it was rude and disrespectful to compare a man to having a period. He also said that his friend group takes pride in being masculine and manly, and I made him look weak. I honestly thought that we were all joking around equally, and if he can make those jokes about women being impossible because of periods, then I don't see why I can't joke back about him acting moody too. OP, your dad really proved your point by acting irritable and moody. Maybe you should just give him a pint of ice cream, put on a nice rom-com that he can watch and calm down, and tell him, "It's okay, sweetie, it's just your menopause at play." OP, you get 0 out of 5 buttholes. I'm giving your moody dad 1 out of 5. Nah, maybe 1.5. He is being kind of misogynist. That was r/am I the butthole. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.